Hello and welcome to Anthropic Topic. I'm Capitalist Jesus.
I'm Littlefire.
I'm Pancake.
And I'm Armored Marshmallow.
Yeah, we're in it today, everybody. So, what's our first topic of the day?
Our first topic for the day is a new state of matter.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was watching YouTube as I normally do. Who
Mhm.
doesn't in this day and age? And I come across a video uh, from Kyle Hill. He was doing a stream, and he was talking about something called a time crystal.
Oh
Now,
yeah,
this,
yeah.
yeah. So the idea is for it breaks quite a few laws. First of all, um,
How so?
law of okay, so it breaks the law of conservation of energy. I don't
Ooh.
remember exactly how,
Oh,
but it's the only law that hasn't been broken to date, other than by that.
yeah. There's
But
exceptions to every rule.
it's not cause enough to change the laws as we know them. Not yet, anyway. So what this thing is something that breaks the time space would have to be if you look at it in 30 years ago, if you were looking at something, say you're looking at a piece of plastic, and then 30 years later, if you look at it again and it's still the same, I believe it is. Otherwise, if it's different, it breaks it. Uh, yeah, no, if it's the same, it breaks time, the time law,
What?
because nothing can stay the same over time,
So you're
right?
talking about okay, so hold on now, hold on. Let's back up. Let's
Yeah,
back up just
yeah.
a little. I feel like you've passed through a couple of like boundaries here that you're going to have to explain. So first of all, time crystals. Explain why they're a new state of matter. Like what is happening that makes
Well,
them time
yeah, because I
crystals?
have to go through the ways that it breaks it, right? Breaks
Okay.
the different laws. So, what time crystals give you the ability to do is make a quantum computer potentially,
Okay.
because it's what it is an atomic pendulum on the atomic scale, uh, basically making ones and zeros, two different states that stay the same. This are of equivalent value.
Okay.
So
So it's it's quantum programming in real in like actual reality. In other programming.
correct.
Yeah. Ooh.
What would a
Programming
quantum
reality,
computer
that's
be?
fun.
Sorry,
A quantum
I'm not.
computer is a computer that uses not bits but superpositions of electrons and
Well,
uses
not just electrons, but yeah,
well of atoms in general, yeah. But
yeah,
well, the reason why I say electrons is because that's the point collapse. That's the wave point collapse. Like oh well, anyway, the point is
yeah, yeah.
um
So basically, yeah,
it's so you can do more than just one or zeros and ones. You can have several different computational representations, and so the calculations you can make with it are fucking massive, basically.
so basically, um, what you do is you take a handful of atoms. I don't know how much a handful of atoms would be, but we'll say 12 different atoms, and you're observing these atoms. They're all in the same state. Uh, this state we'll call it's a magnetic. They orient themselves magnetically. Um, the way they do this is to change the state. Anyway, you have to blast it with kind of like a laser, uh, but
Yeah.
magnetically charged to
Okay.
make it change the state. So if I were to observe these atoms in this one state, they're all the same state. Um, and 30 years later, I look at them in the same state, and none of the value has changed. That's breaking um, the c- the
So
time law.
there's no
Right?
entropy, in other words, that's happening. It's
Yeah.
staying completely There's no decay. There's no loss of electrons or protons or neutrons. Everything is self-contained and remains such, despite.
Correct.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, no. So you're talking about time crystals being a new state of matter, and what
Yes, the reason
arrangement
I was
are?
getting to that.
Okay, I was just gonna.
Yeah. So basically, what the reason why it's a new state of matter is because we can flip it. It's magnetic polarity. So in these
Is it
12
monopolar?
atoms, there's I don't know how to say it really, but it's like, say you have 12 atoms, all of them are blue, and then all of a sudden you blast one of them, it switches to red. Now this
Right.
value is actually still the same as the blue ones next to it. It's the value is still the same, but it's different in time space. Okay.
You're gonna have
It's
to.
it's basically the changing of quarks. So if you change one side, one quark, the other quark will change on the other side, right?
Well, now hold on.
Rather, so you're affecting two different things. Rather than
Oh,
affecting two different things, you're affecting one, just one value. You haven't changed anything reality-wise.
So are you talking about antimatter here?
No.
No. So hold on. So because here's what I'm trying to figure out. So you're saying you have a series of quarks, right?
It's quite
Which are what make up protons, neutrons, and
of
all that.
atoms. Of atoms.
Well, yeah.
In a specific arrangement.
Right. So you affect them in some way, right? Blast them with electromagnetic radiation or what have you. And it
Mm-hmm.
changes them in some way, but their values stay the same. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what do you mean by it
Correct.
changes? What if the values stay the same? Then how does it change?
That's the most confusing part that I'm trying to get past to try and explain. It's what most people can't understand about it. So if you give me a little bit of time, I'm gonna get some help from the internet because
Okay.
yeah.
they
So
don't understand.
I just Googled it myself, and it says that a time crystal is a special phase of matter that changes constantly, but doesn't ever appear to use any energy.
Oh
This,
yes. Okay.
scientists
Yes,
say,
there we go.
means that it violates Isaac Newton's first law of motion, which deals with
Yeah.
inertia. The resistance of an object has to change while in motion.
So
I
what
think
makes a time crystal?
violating laws is kind of like goes hand in hand with anything in the quantum universe, though.
Well, and imagine a whole
Yeah.
area of space that follows these rules instead of our normal space-time. Like, what would that even fucking look like? Would it be would they experience no entropy and never move forward? They'd never have a time dimension of which to travel along. They would just have the spatial dimensions.
They would.
But then
Yeah, they would just have. They would just kind of exist.
And it's weird
It almost
because the
sounds like
matter
a
wouldn't.
perpetual stasis.
It's weird because the matter wouldn't sit still. It would actually kind of exist outside of time in a way where it didn't. Oh, that is weird. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It is super weird.
Yeah.
That's why I said it breaks time as we know
right.
it.
Yeah, no, it does break
Anyways.
time. That's fucking odd.
They possess motion without energy, and their apparent motion
Well,
does not represent
It's not even
conventional
just without.
kinetic energy.
So basically, if you were to
It has been proven
stick
that
something
it's
inside of a space of this, you would essentially freeze time for them.
But
They would never age.
here's your problem though: is you wouldn't have a time axis to move along from which to insert any matter in the first place. That's your first boundary. So you'd have to temporarily.
Yeah, it is the first boundary.
You'd have to temporarily allow, like, animate time, essentially, insert a time axis, and then as soon as you quit interacting with the matter, it would just have to follow along the rules with the time crystal where it freezes and no longer interacts with the time axes. That's fucking weird to think about. Because here's the thing. Sorry. What kind
Yeah.
of effect
Yeah,
does
no,
that?
well,
What kind of effect does that have across the whole, fucking oh shit, because this is a frame of reference that we're talking about, right? So once you change that state, does it naturally flow back into the original state? Because what kind of cascade effect would that have if you interacted with one non-space or non-time dimensional particle and made it experience the axis of time? Would that also affect the other ones where entropy would suddenly start to take place, at least momentarily, until you stopped interjecting with that portion of reality? Like, fuck, we're gonna have to do.
yeah,
I hope they do
you might be onto
experimentation with that.
there. Yeah, no kidding. The idea actually I just thought of was when you in order to stick something in there, you would have to change. You have to insert a time value,
Yeah.
right? When you're ready to stick your thing in there, whatever it is.
Oh God.
Stick your thing in there.
No.
I
You
have
would
an
have
eternal
to
time
take out the
penis.
That's a great
Oh
punk
my
band name,
God.
Eternal Time Penis.
Put that on a shirt. Somebody
Psychedelic
write that
punk.
down. Somebody write that down.
Shit. Yeah, so you would stick your item
Eternal Time
object.
Penis.
Yeah, eternal time penis. Yeah.
All right, we're going with the eternal time penis, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
In there, and you would have to somehow take away the timeline that you input in there, which I'd imagine would be even harder than putting the value in the first
This
place.
is exactly my point. Because here's my question: is how are time crystals made? Because if it's something along the lines of it's like a superconductor being introduced, and you utilize that to extract all of the potential like energy surrounding the system, with only the internal self. Because here's the thing, like I'm gonna have to look more into this because it's saying
No
that
kidding.
energy is being transformed internally with no loss or gain. So it's
Yeah,
like
none, and
that-
none at all. No value changes. Period.
yeah, which is fucking weird. Like here's my question: is how can we use that to generate energy in our frame?
Well, since we're using external sources to change the input and output values of those atoms,
Uh-huh.
it's not a perpetual motion device. Thus, you wouldn't
Right.
actually be making anything.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing, right? Here's my thing. If you're observing a time crystal, then something has to be coming out of the photons have to be coming out of that light crystal, right?
This is true.
So there has to
But
be
that's-
some way to collect energy from this kind of thing, even if it's so minuscule that it's only a percentage of a percentage of a percentage. Any free energy is free, right? That's why I think the observer effect is so interesting, because I'm not entirely sure I completely understand it, because it really brings into question why does reality behave in a different way when somebody's looking at it, and what does it even
That's
mean to
a very
be?
good question.
What does it mean to be somebody? What makes you an observer? It's fucking weird. Yeah. Is it sentience? Is it
yeah.
the photons bouncing off of the thing that you're trying to observe back into your receptors, like, or
have
back
an
into your
idea.
measuring device? I don't know, man.
But then again, if we're not observing it and we're observing it through a piece of tech,
no, but that's it. It still affects. It still
let me
follows
weigh
the
in.
observer effect. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me weigh in. Okay, so I have this idea that we only experience the world in the laziest format possible for our survival.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically, to be an observer, it is your sentience. It's also the way you view the universe.
But why
It
would that
depends on
affect the
what's
universe,
observing.
though?
Wait, what do you mean by that, Pancake?
What I'm getting across is that the universe and existence is a lot more complicated than we could even fathom. what I'm
Mhm.
trying to get across is perhaps there are things that are going on around us all the time that we don't see or
We can't
experience at
perceive.
all
Yeah.
because we're not our evolution it didn't lead us to require being able to perceive these things. Like let's
Yeah.
take
100%.
I think
Mhm.
ultraviolet light,
Yeah.
like we can have things removed from our eyes that will allow us to see that, but it was never relevant. It's still there, it still exists. It's just never been relevant for our survival.
Well,
Therefore,
yeah.
we don't
Correct.
perceive it.
Yeah.
No, I
So
agree.
so the
I
the,
agree.
the
100%.
weirdest thing about this is it could possibly be nature could create it, the time crystal.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, I figured that would be the
But
case.
Yeah.
yeah, but it'd be in some extreme circumstances that it would be created. As it's only been created in rarefied labs. I don't know what that means. That's just what Kyle said. So
Okay. Yeah. Good old Kyle. I
like,
actually do like Kyle's content. I should watch him more often.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Every now and then he just kind of rambles on a little too much for me.
Yeah, I understand most of what he says most of the time,
Yeah.
but
He gets
other times it gets quite nerdy for me.
well, and it's just that he's such an educator that he kind of ends up explaining a lot of concepts that I've kind of already been over, so I just don't want to hear it again. Yeah. Yeah, no, that sounds dreadfully interesting. I'll have to go check that out
Yeah,
after the
so the
podcast.
reason
Yeah,
why
I'll have to
I
look
say
into.
new state of matter is
Mm-hmm.
because if you could stick something in it and using so insert a time value and then take it away after you've inserted something in there,
Yeah.
that would be the new state. It'd be entirely still. There wouldn't be ever a change in value.
And none of the atoms would ever lose any of their energy, which is weird.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No,
I
Yeah,
mean
I'll
that's
definitely
that's
look
why it's a
into
new
that.
state. Yeah.
right. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, similar to what you were saying, Pancake, I agree with you. We're very much sort of biased to our human existence and human experience.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, if you look at animals that exist on our planet right now that have capacities greater than ours in terms of, sight and hearing and just different sensory perceptions and even just flight and all these other things, where we're very much biased and limited to our experience. So it's
Yeah.
really
Hmm.
difficult for us to be able to have that distinction too sometimes.
Yeah, there can't be a species that doesn't have opposable thumbs. Like
What?
in
Oh,
some
like
people's
in our
view.
science
Yeah,
fiction mind. I don't know about that because we have a
yeah,
lot of species that have like tentacles and stuff. I mean, there are a lot of humanoid type weird things, especially in our TV science fiction. But here's the real reason behind that. We've got to have human actors portray all of these fucking aliens, so you can't get too far off of the human frame before it starts really falling apart.
yeah. That's true.
And if you read science fiction, there's a lot more variety.
Oh yeah,
A lot of
so much
variety.
variety.
I mean, hell, just the Lovecraftian. I mean, they're not. I mean, the science fiction horror kind of, but um, like existential horror. Those aliens get fucking weird because they're mostly just tentacles and eyeballs and masses of unexplainable horror. Some things that aren't even perceptible by the human mind. That's
For
something
sure.
that I think is really an interesting implication is extra-dimensional creatures. We're like like what Schmello was saying. We have a bias towards our perception, including our dimension, and it's really
The
like
third dimension.
really four if you consider time, because we were just talking about that. But yeah,
Yeah,
and even then, there are more dimensions that are suspected to exist beyond, because because certain things have to exist on top of themselves in order for our universe to work out in the way that it does. I don't want to get too deep into it, but
It's a very, very difficult topic.
yeah, it's not.
very convoluted.
Well, yeah, and even explaining it would be just yeah. I don't think I have the capacity, if I'm being honest. I don't know if I understand it all. I just bought a couple of books actually to help learn a little bit more about our current understanding of our universe, but I haven't quite delving into them yet. So I'll give you an update next time we get this podcast up.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be doing quite a bit of research into that the time crystal, because it's quite the interesting thing.
I won't.
Oh
he's
yeah.
he's
That's
too busy
understandable.
though, man.
Oh yeah.
He's out here making shit. Like, can't blame him.
Yeah, I've got all the time I need except for work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking
yeah.
of work, I know right now somebody's life isn't working out, and it is they're a special type of individual whose life is very open to the internet, and I think Pancake here knows who I'm talking about. You wanna tell him what your topic is there, Pancake?
All right. So, as some people may know,
Oh, thanks for
Chris
the follow, by the way.
Chan, Chris
Sorry.
Oh, sweet.
Chan
Thank you.
has, thank you, been arrested on incest charges.
Woo!
Chris Chan is being charged with, well, no, it's charged with incest right now, but allegedly he has raped his 80-year-old dementia suffering mother, or
80.
Barb, as most Christorians know.
Yeah. Wow, that's
deep.
Sounds awful, right?
Yee.
And it is kind of terrible. But I don't know how many. Chris Chan is kind of like the OG lol cow, and if you don't know what a lol cow is, it's
God.
basically a very eccentric person who puts their oddities on display to the world, unbeknownst to them, for the entertainment of everybody else. And Chris Chan is the OG.
Oh gee. So how long? When did he start?
Oh,
Do you know?
Wasn't it
When was
A
2004?
his-
long time ago.
2004
well, we can
was
say
like
it depends, because YouTube is 2000s. Sonichu, I'll touch on that later. Sonichu was the website was released, I believe, in the year 2000. But
Holy
Chris Chan was
shit.
on TV all the way back in 1993 for winning a Sonic Sweepstakes award.
Did he win, or did he just put it a submission that he
won.
eventually?
He won $1,000 worth of video games in 1993. That's a lot of video games.
Bro, could you imagine the
Wow.
last time you were lucky being 1993?
Imagine that, all downhill from there.
Fuck.
So,
Oh no.
Yo,
here's
I'm
Chris Chan,
like I
Damn.
might have peaked in my life already, but it wasn't in '93. So at least I've got that going for me. Fuck.
well, I was like 1 in 93.
Yeah. Anyway.
So something to understand about Chris is that Chris is very, very, very autistic. He uses
Okay.
the term high functioning autism. It's really misleading, because honestly, Chris Chan doesn't have a mentality past the age of probably 8 years old.
Damn.
Still,
It's-
yes. And the thing is
Isn't he
that
nearly 40
he's
now?
oh yeah, 39.
Yeah.
Turns 40 February 24th.
Fuck.
Christorian.
Yeah, apparently.
So something else to understand about Chris Chan is that his parents are, well, his father's dead now,
Yeah.
but as I said, he's almost 40 and his mother is 80. So they had him pretty late in their lives.
Mhm.
And they had a lot of stigmatized beliefs about mental health. They were worried about Chris Chan going in the special ed classes because they didn't want to end up in a straitjacket or anything like that. And if you think about it, he was born in 82, so would have started school it probably around 87. So
Yeah, that's what I'd
that
say.
belief structure isn't as archaic from their perspective.
Yeah.
It's not
Not
far
that
off.
not that I am permitting their decision.
Yeah.
know,
It's
because
just
back when they were
understanding their
young,
perspective.
that was the standard.
Unfortunate.
So they searched high and low to find a school system that would accept Chris, no questions asked. And that happened to be in Virginia. So that's the first
Take me
failure
home, West Virginia.
to that's the first failure to Chris Chan right there, was starting with his parents. They knew he was autistic and did not get him the help he needed to function better.
Succeed.
Fuck.
So here's an interesting tidbit about Chris Chan. Chris Chan has created his own comic book. It's called Sonichu.
Okay.
That's a combination of Sonic and Pikachu, in case you didn't catch on to that.
Oh god, okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he made this medallion of Sonichu out of like Crayola Play-Doh or some crap like that.
And he sent it to somebody, didn't he? Who was pretending to be a woman. Interested
I'll get to
in
that.
him? Oh, okay.
I'll get to that because that's another failure I'm going to talk about.
Oh,
And
God.
but this medallion is super important to Chris. Wears it everywhere he goes. So
Okay.
he released a comic book, and what this comic book is unless you're actively following what's going on in Chris Chan's life, you're never going to understand what's going on in the comic book, because basically he is telling his life story through his comic book.
Okay.
And that little tidbit is important, that he's telling his life story through his comic book.
Oh
Mm.
no.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of foreshadowing here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you a couple things about Sonichu. So it takes place in a place called Quickville. Where you got the name Quickville is that CWCville, Christian Weston Chandler.
Yeah.
So Sonichu is there. There's another character named Rose Chu, which is Rose from Sonic, and Raichu.
I've got a quick question. So Sonichu,
Sure.
I know that Sonichu calls his self-insert character in the comic father, right? So how the fuck does that? Who did he fuck? Okay, so here's my question, right? If that's his son, then that means that Sonichu, that means Sonic and Pikachu had a kid, and then his self-insert character had sex with that character, and now Sonichu calls him dad, right?
Man, I don't know.
I'm just
Wait.
trying to piece together the
That
lore
sounds
here.
fucking weird, man.
I'm just
See,
saying,
like-
Wow.
genetics
it's-
only
it
works in
is-
so many ways.
At the end of the day, it's all incomprehensible nonsense.
Okay, well, you're right. Shame on me for trying to make sense of this. You're right. Fucking please continue.
Fun facts about Chris. He's in a band. It's
Holy
called Chris Chan and the Hedgehog Boys.
Holy shit, he's doing
And
better
it
than me?
cons-
The fuck?
It consists of Chris, Sonichu, Sonic, Shadow, and some other creation. I can't actually remember the name. I think it's like
You think he's out of the
I
band?
can't remember.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So the kind of music that they play is basically the Backstreet Boys, and the Macarena song, and they're all live performances.
Tequila. Sorry.
And Chris will sing over with his own lyrics. So what you get is just this weird singing over, these two voices singing over one another constantly. But that's his band. It's a boy band, and he's really the only member.
Oh, so he's
got a banger though. He's got a
Oh, yeah?
banger on that.
You
And
DM
it's
me
called.
Oh,
yeah, okay,
is it
I'll do that.
is it actually a banger?
I am being a facetious piece of shit.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had a
nah, hit
feeling.
me
This
with
is
that.
this is my segue into the love quest.
Oh
Okay,
shit.
let's-
Chandler.
Oh no.
Is it his
gonna
rap
skip-
or is it the is it just something else?
It's the Let me find the lyrics. Actually, I'll sing you the lyrics.
Yeah, give me your version of Chris Chan's music. Yes, please.
Oh
No,
my
This is
man,
gonna
I am
be
no,
such a unique.
I am no Liquid Chris.
Please
Bruh.
serenade it.
We
Please
gotta-
serenade
no,
it.
here's-
Oh my god.
It's the song is called "Virgin with Rage."
Oh
Okay.
no.
Oh, God.
This is
I'm gonna sing the
interesting.
chorus for you guys, okay?
Despite all my rage, I am still just a virgin in a cage. Sorry.
Oh my god.
He's about to be in a cage, I
Tell
guess.
me why I'm stuck as a virgin with rage. Tell me why I so need a cute girl my age. Tell me why I never wanna hear you
Oh, no.
say I have a boyfriend.
Fuck.
It's to the Backstreet Boys.
What
It
the
is.
fuck?
It is. I'm totally
I
breaking Little Fire's brain right here. I love it.
fucking love
hate-
this.
Oh my
I
god.
hated that so much.
All right, Pancake. Here's our
I'll
first
never
mission.
sing again. Don't worry.
Here's our
No,
first
it wasn't
mission
you, it was
that
the
you and
idea
I are
of
gonna work
that.
on. We're gonna
What's that?
we're gonna do a semi-produced version of that song. You and me.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, sounds good, homie.
I'll send you the lyrics
Cool,
in his
cool.
version.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to work that out. Yeah, I'll do harmony
So-
for you. You can take melody.
Yeah,
All
no,
right,
don't worry,
sounds good.
Pancake. It
Yeah.
wasn't your singing, it was the idea of that song put to that melody.
Yeah.
Just-
No worries.
And then
So-
we're gonna do it up, dude. We're gonna fucking jam.
Oh,
what,
God,
you're
okay.
You're gonna make
This
it better?
brings me
Yeah.
to the love quest.
Okay.
So after Christian graduated high school, he was still a virgin. And just because mentally he hasn't developed past the age of 7 or 8, that doesn't mean that you physically stop. Guy's got urges.
Unlucky.
So he thought about his needs. Well, Christian doesn't like people who smoke. Christian doesn't like people who drink alcohol. So he added those to the list. And Christian noticed that during previous love quests where he would try to ask somebody out, he would always get the answer, "Oh, sorry, I have a boyfriend." So, Boyfriend free was added to the list.
You're getting curved,
Um,
homie.
And Christian also was like, "Oh, well, I have autism, and that's a disability, so you can't have that.
Oh,
No
fuck.
autism."
Okay. Well
Oh,
then.
Oh,
Christian
'cause-
started,
He didn't
and
want
Christian
his
thought about
part- Oh.
what he's attracted to. Christian likes his women skinny. So you can't be fat was added to the list. Christian is also racist.
Oh god,
So
this is
he
getting
added
so
must be
much
white
worse.
to the
Well,
list.
I think he actually specifically said you can't be chocolate or dark skinned. He didn't even say you have to be
Huh.
white. It was
This
like,
is getting so much worse.
oh yeah, no, it was.
You want to
very-
know how racist Chris is? When he was on his love quests, which I'll get to, he would refuse to talk to any man. He hated men. But he would talk to black men because he didn't view them as competition. That's how racist this guy is.
Holy shit. Yo.
So Christian, rather than going in, also the last one, they had to be wealthy. They had to have high income
I'm
because
Oh, yeah.
Christian
actually,
can't work.
at this point I'm speechless. Like
yeah, 'cause- yeah.
Ha!
Well, he
Imagine
needed
telling the story.
he needed a mom that was not literally his mom. Except, I guess we'll get to that.
Yeah. So something to understand about Christian's father real quick. So he was a very successful man. He lived off of royalties off of his patents till the day he died. And the fact that he didn't want to address his son's disability, some people paint that as a he didn't want his son to end up in the mental hospital where they got abused. I don't look at it that way. That guy made his life making the world a better place. And I think to a certain extent, ego gets involved there.
Mm,
I think it was a point of pride.
yeah.
No
maybe.
son of mine. Because
Yeah.
something else is that, so Christian's father, Rob, I'm just going to refer to him as Rob from now on. Rob had a huge passion for being a disc jockey. And so he collected music from all over the world. He collected stamps and all this stuff. And he tried to imprint these interests onto Chris,
Mhm.
where Chris was more so into, Pokemon and Sega. I've never heard anything about Rob trying to take a bigger interest in what Christian was doing. It was about what Rob's interests were. So I look at Rob as a very pride-driven person. Barb, his mom, is a hoarder. And according to her estranged son, Chris's half-brother, very abusive.
Mhm.
So that, to me, I think about abusers in the past that I've known, and for them it was about control.
Mhm.
And it's very easy to control people who have a harder time thinking for themselves, such as Chris. And as you are going to learn, had a very difficult time thinking for himself.
Yeah.
So his love quest. So we made a poster looking for a boyfriend-free, smoke-free, alcohol-free, ages 18 to whatever age he was at the time. Fit girlfriend with a moderate to high income, and would hold this poster on his campus and just sit there waiting.
Which let's
Wait,
be completely fair. Nobody at a campus is making moderate to high income.
he physically held
Yeah.
the
He
poster?
physically held this sign. There's pictures of him holding it. There are pictures of this sign.
He also posted up like posters across the campus. So in addition to him holding the sign, he would also loiter in like parking lots of places holding the sign.
So I'm assuming it was a flying success because most women would flock to that.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding? Here's what happened. There's a lady at the school named Mary Lee Ralsh. Kind of fucked up that I know her name like that, right? Anyways, she scalded Chris, took the sign, ripped it up, and kicked him off campus.
Poor fucking.
Like any smart person would do, right?
Here, real quick, let me
Mhm.
interject. Was that really necessary? He wasn't fucking hurting anybody. I get
Didn't
that
need to be
it's
kicked
not
off
it's
or ripped
not
up.
kosher, don't get me wrong, but he's fucking not trying to hurt anyone. Holy shit.
Now that you bring that up, you're right. That was probably overboard.
Yeah, little
This
extreme.
brings in
Not
this
trying
brings
to
into
defend
the
him
second
hurt
failure.
too much, but
Because straight up, I'm going to be honest with you guys. At the end of all this, I'm going to defend Chris.
all right, let's keep
And
going.
that's a really unpopular thing to do. But I clearly I'm a little bit educated on this.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm on board to see where
Well,
this
let's
is
hear it.
going.
Yeah.
So this is the
Yeah.
next failure. The school system. You
Okay.
can't have somebody like that in class for 12 years of school and then enroll him in college and not know.
No, you can't. Not at all.
And the school had tried to address this, and his parents would remove him from the situations all the time. But the school system could have reported this. They could have reported that there is a severely mentally handicapped child that needs the proper resources, and they never did. It was not my problem now. So the school system failed Chris and enabled Chris's parents to fail him as well. So, how do I know this lady's name off by heart? That is because
you
that
dated
is
her once.
Chris's Sorry, boo. So, that's because this is Chris's nemesis.
Yeah.
Mary Lee Rausch single-handedly ruined his love quest in his eyes. So he wrote her as the villain in Sonichu.
Yeah.
Now, in reality, this lady probably doesn't even remember who he is.
I don't. At this point, she might, just because people will have talked to her about it. At this point.
You know what? Yeah, because
There's
people
no
our age,
way. Yeah.
people our age, we all know who he is.
Yeah. No, people are definitely going to her and asking her questions. I can feel it in my jelly bones.
Yeah. Jelly bones.
Anyway.
So here's another fun fact. Sometime in the mid 2000s, Sony held a competition, a Parappa the Rapper competition. Little Fire, you probably don't remember that game. That game came out in the mid to late 90s. It was a rhythm-based game where you inputted controls, kind of like Guitar Hero, but just with a controller and to
Yep.
do different
Okay,
raps.
okay.
Almost like Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, kind of a trendsetter if you think
I've
about
played
it.
games.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
played games
absolutely.
similar to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
So-
kind of like trends.
You've played Rhythm Game. You've played Parappa Rappa.
Yeah.
Parappa
So-
da Rappa?
The competition was to do a rap from the video game series. And the winner would get to go to Sony headquarters, all expenses paid type deal. So Chris really wanted to win this competition. He wanted to win this competition because there's this gal pal he had, and that's his words, not mine, named Megan.
And
he-
Megan comes in. All right, go ahead.
And he was desperate to lose his virginity to Megan. And he figured taking her to this competition, with the winning this competition, and then taking her would show. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say what his attitude was. He's gonna take her. She's gonna put out, because that's what you do. That's a really, really shitty thing about Chris's personality is that
he's-
it always will go back to sex.
and it's always very
Every major
expected.
thing. And it's something he flat out expects. That's correct.
It's fucking gross.
It
But
is
okay.
gross. Now remember
Well,
this.
imagine
Every
Sorry.
major thing he does in his life revolves back to having sex.
Well,
What were you
imagine
gonna say, Chris?
I was just
CJ?
gonna say, imagine you have the sexual drive of an adult with the mind of a child. Like it's literally not fair. You know, like how is he gonna have the mental capacity to really even understand his own impulses and control or react to them healthily? Like his parents failed him so fucking hard. I'm sorry, continue.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. See, you're falling for it. You're falling for it.
Yeah, my brain is on fuck. I can't. Go ahead.
It's
So-
on fire.
Yeah, dude, this
I'm
is
gonna-
stressing me
Spoiler
out.
alert. Chris didn't win. Chris didn't win this competition. He didn't even follow the rules. He changed the lyrics, and straight up he went and sent threats to the actual winner. You
Oh,
ruined my
yeah.
one chance with Megan.
Wow.
So, Chris made some drawings after this time.
Mm-hmm.
And these drawings consisted of him performing sexual acts on a woman that had the same features as Megan.
Well, in his art style, yeah.
In his art, yeah. Now, keep in mind, mentality of a child. Imagine how a 7-year-old draws. Actually, you know what? I'll give him 9.
Oh man,
I'll give him 9.
yeah, because if anybody, oh, man, look, don't go look this up. But if you've seen the picture, it's really weird how he does the perspective too, because his right arm is kind of like going behind his left arm in order to accomplish said act, and then he's giving a thumbs up with his other arm. So it's like his left arm is in front of his right arm, despite the fact that it shouldn't be. Yeah, no, it's real fun image.
Yeah. And he was convinced to post these images.
Uh-huh.
And we'll come back to that later, but he was convinced to post these images. And guess who found them?
His parents.
Megan.
Nope.
Megan.
Megan found
Oh,
them.
God.
Hey.
Megan.
Surprise.
And Megan sounds like an absolute sweetheart.
Well.
She gave him shit. She gave him she kind of punished him. She made him face what he did. And she said to him, I can't be friends with you right now.
Yeah.
I'm really mad right
Fair.
now. How could you draw something like this? How could you post something like this?
Yeah.
You know what he responded with? He responded with, I had to get these feelings out because I don't want to know what would have happened if I didn't.
I don't
which
know what would have happened if
I
Oh
I
don't
didn't.
want
God.
to know what would have
Yeah.
happened if he didn't.
Oh God. That's chilling to hear.
Yeah, man. Well,
And she naturally, Megan was horrified by this. And Megan broke off contact with them
Mhm.
as a result. I think that was a temporary thing because she did say to him, "I can't be friends with you right now.
Right
This
now.
is too much."
Yeah.
I do
Well,
wonder if
Megan
they.
seems to understand that there is something seriously wrong with this guy.
But yeah, she does seem like a sweet person where she's like concerned, but like, I can't actually interact with you right
She has
now.
to protect herself, and no
Yeah.
one should ever make her feel bad about that.
Yeah.
You were gonna say something, CJ.
No, you said it.
All right, cool. But why would Chris post this? Okay, so maybe he drew some fucked up drawings, got his shit out, but he went so far as to publicize it.
Well, he doesn't have that kind of concept, man. That's the thing with people
It
who
was a
are on
rhetorical
this
question.
spectrum. Oh, well, no. I'm
Mm.
just like carrying forward with that question where it's like, yeah, he's on the spectrum, so his mentality doesn't get it. And continue.
Yeah, no, true.
Oh, I
Especially with
see.
that
That is a
level of
very
autism.
important addition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially with the
Yeah.
social aspect of autism, where you literally just don't have the understanding like most, I mean, quote unquote normal, because what the fuck
What's up,
is
Greg? Thanks for
normal?
showing up.
Neurotypical.
But where would he get the idea? Well,
Internet.
the thing about the internet, exactly. The thing about Chris is that Chris habitually posted his life. It started with Sonichu because that popped up in 2000. In the mid 2000s, YouTube came into the picture, and people flocked to Chris. And what do you think happens when a bunch of people in the early stages of the internet find an intriguing character who has very little grasp of reality?
They worship him as their god.
You would know Jesus.
I don't doubt some people
Whoa.
worship him. These
The
people,
flock is gathering.
these people fucked with Chris.
Oh, these people
And the
fuck.
thing-
Sorry, go ahead.
With
With
Chris.
Chris.
Pauses with Chris.
Now,
He said it was like an after school special or like these people fucked.
with Chris.
Anyway, sorry, Pancake.
No, it's okay. You guys make fun of my Captain Kirk speech. It's sweet.
A little bit, yeah.
Don't smoke drugs, kids. Anyways,
Then you'll end up
So-
like, yeah.
as a character trait, Chris is incredibly naive and has a very, very, very limited understanding of the world and the way it works. These people realized that Chris was a very vulnerable person really quickly, and they would communicate with him because Chris is very open to communicating with people. And they would get him to do fucked up shit. They would get him to admit horrible things, horrible feelings he's had that he doesn't express out otherwise. And they would they would convince him it's a good idea to publicize these things. Or if they couldn't get him to publicize these things, they would record the conversations where he's opening up. And then they would
and
post
then
them,
publish it. What the fuck?
and then publish it. They
That's
would make up names. Some people would pretend that they were interested in Chris as a love interest. Some people would just pretend to be friends. They would find out something that was weak about him, and then they would pick at it and pick at it and pick at it.
Yeah.
And these images of Megan are part of that.
Yeah.
So let's think of some things that these trolls have done. I got a nasty one, a couple nasty ones, and then I got a good troll. And you guys will like this because I think after I explain some of this
Yeah.
shit, we're
Ruin
gonna
my
need the
day and the-
lightheartedness.
Yeah, ruin my day and then put a little whipped cream on top.
Exactly. So there was, I can't remember all these trolls' names because like there's so fucking many. This one troll, however, went on a date with Chris to the mall, where Rob took Chris there to kind of chaperone for a little bit, just test it out. She showed up. She was recording the whole thing. I think just audio. I don't think I've seen any images of it. So during the date, Rob did so much talking. Basically, Chris was in the background, which, like, way to cook your kid, dude. Fuck you, Rob.
Yo, what?
Well, Rob was like really leading all the conversation, not giving Chris the opportunity to engage. I'm pretty sure at this time, Rob was aware of the trolling, but didn't have a full comprehension of what that was. And you know that this young girl did a really good job feigning interest. After some time, Rob goes away, and you know Chris gets his shot, and Chris strikes out really fucking hard because Chris, having very low understanding of social dynamics, especially in like a first date, is like, oh well, she's here, she's interested. That means she wants to kiss. That means she wants to hold, and he would go for stuff like that, and she would tell him no. Well within her right. I'm just gonna state that, of course. But then a man in a pickle suit shows up.
A pickle suit?
Yeah,
I turned myself
something
into
to
a
keep in mind-
pickle.
Something to keep in mind is that Chris hates pickles. He actually writes this in Sonichu. He hates pickles not because he hates the flavor of them, but because they are phallic shaped.
Oh,
Did I mention that Chris is a
The dumbest-
homophobic?
no.
Chris is
Dumbest
very, very, very homophobic. Chris is so homophobic that when he caught wind that the gay community wore Axe, he submitted a complaint to Axe, stating that on their bottles, it actually mentions that it's supposed to be there to attract the ladies. So why should homosexuals be wearing this?
Okay, if he's so
Oh my God.
offended, about phallic shape, so he can't eat hot dogs. He can't.
That's what I
bananas,
said to
He
myself.
can't eat
Popsicles?
Anything, yeah, popsicle. Anything phallic shaped. Is that just like off? Oh, that just makes me like, wow.
No bananas.
Are you that insecure too with yourself? I mean,
Autistic.
no, I don't.
Yeah, I
know
mean,
if it's
here's my
completely
argument about that.
too.
That is probably not a feeling that comes from him. That is more than likely a
Still
projection from his kind of because he's got the naivete, right, where he's got this weird sense of purity about himself, despite the fact that he doesn't actually, like, he's so sexual. But he's got this feigned kind of, well, it's not even feigned. He's got this perceived innocence about him, but he's like hypersexual. So it kind of makes sense, right, where he thinks about that kind of stuff. He probably has. Oh well, now here's some conjecture. I have no proof for this. He might have a little bit of a homosexual tendency, and it's probably being projected as his extreme homophobia, and why he's so focused on that kind of stuff, and why he might see himself as the way he does. But I have no proof for that. That's merely speculation.
Everything about it.
Yeah,
is
merely
speculation.
conjecture.
Conjecture. Yeah. Well,
Based on information you have accumulated.
well, I'd already used the word conjecture, and I don't like repeating myself, so.
Still.
Anyway,
This
Pancake,
man-
please
this man-
continue with this. Yes.
Oh,
I'm
no
so-
worries. I'm glad you guys are so interested. I
I'm
was
so
really
on board.
worried that you guys would be turned off by this. And we still got
It's
2
super
hours.
fucking
Now, if
weird,
anything,
man.
I'm a little
Super
turned
fucking
on. No.
weird.
The fact that I saw
No,
it
bro.
at the end, that is surely concerning to me.
Only because I'm listening to you say it.
That's fair. I've been told I have a nice voice, so I'm
You
trying
do.
to abuse it.
And might I
Anyways.
point out, I think your new microphone suits you well.
Thank you very much. I'm
Yeah.
abusing the proximity effect.
I bet you are.
So this man in the pickle suit shows up and pulls a Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Yeah.
Points out that, hey, looks like you are making her really uncomfortable. Hey, baby, you want to come with me? Yup.
Oh no.
Because guess what? This
It
girl
was
was a
setup.
troll.
It was all.
It was all all a setup. And Chris is left in the mall, confused and alone.
Damn.
Now you can argue that he
Sick.
deserves this
That's
stuff because he
sick.
has some very, very reprehensible attributes about himself.
But
There's
still,
no question.
now,
He's mentally disabled at the end of the day.
and you're provoking him.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
Here's
hell.
another troll. So another troll. Another love interest. Things get spicy. You know, this is going on for weeks. I think this one was actually months. The last one was a few weeks. Chris has divulged information. Somehow the information gets out, but don't worry, it's not me. And then things get, you know, you're doing long distance relationships. Sometimes do a little bit of the phone sex, right? And this was recorded. And at the end of it,
Oh, no.
this person says, this supposed love interest for Chris says, surprise, I'm a 13-year-old boy and I'm going to report you, you fucking sicko.
Oh, no. What? That's
What?
catfishing.
Completely catfishing this guy.
Yeah. Yikes.
And
So he got
naturally,
catfished by a child.
by a
it an
child, and the
actual child?
the video, quite the squeaky voice.
I could do that with a
Makes
voice
it-
modulator.
Makes
I
it
don't know.
easier to, well, this is also early, mid 2000s, right?
Not incomprehensible to have a voice modulator in the mid 2000s, but I'll give you I'll give it. It was probably just a 13-year-old kid. That's trolly.
Well, some trolls were like, that was too far.
Yeah.
Like, that was too far? The pickle
Um,
suit wasn't?
Well, the pickle suit at the very least.
I was saying, there's a good
Still, the
punchline.
pickle suit was
It was fucked up, but at the same
Better
time,
than-
it is kind of
better
funny.
than the catfish.
It's
It's
well
better than the
thought out.
catfish.
Photos of Megan, though?
A pure catfish for no other like end is kind of lame. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a good troll, though. 3 is good, so 2 bad, 1 good.
Yeah. It means
This
it's good.
starts Liquid Chris. So there's this
Mm.
guy that started posting himself doing impressions of Chris just to make his friends laugh. And these actually got a lot of attention. So he started wearing the same clothes as Chris and started just doing vlogs just like Chris. And when Chris got wind of this,
Oh
Chris
no.
genuinely believed this person to be an imposter.
Liquid Chris.
Like Among Us level imposter.
Wait,
And
you're
they
joking?
would engage in competitions to prove who the real Chris is.
Oh, I love that.
No way.
I love it too. I don't think I've met a single person that's ever had anything bad about Liquid Chris to say.
That's,
Like
that would be a weird
anything about
mindfuck
yeah.
from Chris's perspective, but as long as it was
Well,
good
yeah.
natured, just having competitions to see who is more Chris, that's kind of funny.
Because the best part
honestly-
is Chris would go and say, well, a solid Chris would say, well, we're gonna have a guitar battle right here. Then would pick up his Guitar Hero controller and play More Than a Feeling. Liquid Chris would grab a real fucking guitar
oh no.
and play More Than a Feeling for real and sing the song in a Chris
Oh.
accent, but make it sound good.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I literally
that's
don't
amazing.
know how to feel right now. I'm like almost I actually kind of speechless. Like
Also, now I have More Than a Feeling stuck in my head.
Yeah.
You're welcome. That's a
Yeah,
bomb.
that's a bomb song. Yeah,
That
no,
is
it's
a
good.
banger.
Yeah.
So
I just don't
eventually
wanna
this
get
comes to a
copyright
head,
struck.
and Liquid Chris and Solid Chris have a huge music battle thing, where once again everyone votes that Liquid Chris is the real Chris, and something beautiful happens. A girl messages Liquid Chris,
Oh
just to compliment the voice,
uh-oh.
and they start a little relationship. Now, the entire time Liquid Chris has been doing these competitions, he's never once been aggressive towards Solid Chris. He's never once done anything malicious. He's just played a character.
Mhm.
That's it.
Uh,
And Liquid Chris gets his happy ending because he stopped doing the trolling and pursued the relationship. I'm pretty sure actually it's come out that he's now an oncologist. Like he's gone on to go do great things. He works on cancer now.
Good for him. If that's
Yeah,
actually
good
true.
for him.
Yeah.
The
I wish I was half
painful
as
ironic
motivated.
thing is that Liquid Chris goes and gets the ending that Solid Chris has always looked for.
Yeah,
Most
that's
likely based off of genuine character.
Fuck. And you know the problem with that is it makes you wonder like how cruel is that in a cosmic sense, where it's like, yeah, that was kind of a troll and it was pretty funny, but then in the end, like that's actually it's almost Joker levels of like the fucking torture, like you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
not like he doesn't want to be good enough or suave or whatever. He clearly has the desire. He just doesn't have the capacity to understand, which isn't the same as not trying, And it kind of fucking sucks. I I wonder like if he'd had any help, and then we're gonna need to get into the people who did try to help Chris, because that's gonna be a whole new section of this, because I'm pretty sure you've got a lot to say about it. But and it's weird to take like personal like uh anything personal from this, but it's more like some part of you wishes, like, if, or not you but us as the observers, wishes that if there was some input we could give or some sort of insight, some connection we could make to help Chris, I would totally do it. I don't
Yeah.
know that that's even possible at this point.
Well,
At
to
this
It's
see his
also
stage-
you're
life.
fighting a losing battle too, because Chris
Yeah.
treats everybody with the same trust.
Yeah, and so you might be able to get through to him, but the next person he talks to could completely undo all that.
Exactly. I think that's why the people that did try to help him formed a group.
To try and circle him. Yeah,
But even to circle him, but even that's not enough.
it's never enough.
Because the damage was already done at this point. Because we're talking, this is in recent years.
Yep.
I'm talking, this is Chris Teree right now. That's happening.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then we've got to progress the narrative here. So
after this time, Chris, and I believe it would be I want to say either 2009 or 2011. I know another big event happened in 2011, so I'm gonna go with 2009. Because guys, this is so much information, and I'm paraphrasing, so some of it's gonna get crossed, and I apologize.
yeah,
No worries. Yeah.
So Chris starts dressing as
just-
what he calls a tom girl. The way he thinks about it is that a tomboy is a woman that has a lot of male traits with their attitude and their dressing style. So Chris started doing that, but the opposite.
a femboy.
And this is where Chris's family started being very verbally abusive towards him. Barbara would say things like, I did not raise a little girl. Rob would use the F slur in regards to Chris, tell him to stop wearing all that damn clothing, stuff like that.
Yeah, one more reason why I think Chris had his homophobic tendencies. Right there.
Yeah, a little bit ingrained.
Well,
it's not. I don't even really think it was his fault per se, but yeah.
No.
There is a counter to this, because in 2011 Rob dies 2 days after his 82nd birthday. He passes away.
Is that his father? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna quickly touch on how Chris copes with death, because this ties into his delusions. Chris would write people into the comic, and they would be immortalized in the cartoon dimension. I'll touch on the cartoon dimension more, but it's just important to mention that when people die, they go to the cartoon dimension because he ensures that.
Okay.
After this time, Chris just decides to go by Christine Chandler, and comes out as transgender while saying the words that I'm identifying as a woman who is a lesbian because I think I have better chances with lesbians than I do with other girls. That's why I am very hesitant to ever really refer to Christine. I'll call her Christine, but I have a hard time with the gender because with my
It's
understanding with transgender people, I've had people in my personal life come out as transgender, and it's a shock to me. And
Yeah.
I say, okay, well, I ask questions because I want to understand.
Yep.
Judgment's not my first thing, so
Yeah,
I
no, it
would
should
ask,
never be for sure.
and they always say that it's always been like this,
mm,
Yeah.
and there's not an ulterior motive. It's not like, oh, this is going to help me with my job market. There's this person who said they'd only date me if I was transgender. Like, it's nothing like
Yeah.
that. It's a
yeah.
deeply personal
It's a
struggle.
personal struggle, and I've had the same thing, and it's not normally based on, like you said, another motive where if I could, then maybe I'll get more
Attention.
of
And that is
relationships, and
Chris's
that's
struggle.
what
Yeah.
he and
It's the struggle is I want to have sex. The struggle is not I want to be who I am.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's only their outward expression. I wonder if you were able to suss out more of their intentions, if it would change our minds or not. I really don't know. Maybe they're
Well, here's
just as
another
impure
here's
as
another
they're coming across, because I wouldn't doubt it either, because that does seem like a very kind of almost psychopathic, antisocial behavior.
Well, where does this idea come from, though? It came from a dream that Chris
Well,
had.
the
Oh.
antisocial
what?
behavior can come from, again, like we said, the autism.
Right.
Yes.
Like, that's just how it happens, is like Chris had a dream, and therefore this must be true. It becomes prophetic. And I'm choosing that word very specifically because this is where things where the delusions of
Set
Chris
in.
starts to come in. So part of Chris's being a woman is that Chris genuinely believes that there is another dimension called the cartoon dimension where all cartoon creations blink into existence. And so that's why he writes his loved ones, his dead dog in the comic book, his dead dad in the comic book. Because now they exist in that dimension, and one day those dimensions are going to merge.
The Great Merger.
It sounds like some cult level bullshit, actually, if you think
It
about
kind
it.
of is, yeah. I was gonna say,
Yeah. That's cult level already, man.
give it 1,000 years, this will be a religion.
And you know, well, if the merge happens while they are in prison, I suppose.
It'll be like all the end of the world predictions. It'll just keep getting pushed out to next year.
And Chris needs
Yeah.
to be a woman in order to bring about this.
Ah, I see.
To be the mother of it. But at the end of it, Chris gets to rule as a god
Oh no!
over the merged dimension.
I don't think I'd want that.
And we all
But
have
hey,
to
keep
love
in mind
Chris.
that means Family Guy is going to be reality soon, guys.
Oh, I still don't think I'd want to be in that.
I think I'd end up being
Me either.
kind of an
I hate that show.
anti-hero.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find Vegeta and be like, "Yo,
Yeah,
give me some of that Saiyan blood."
straight up. I'll take it.
But you know, this means also Happy Tree Friends is gonna be a thing, guys.
Holy shit, you're not wrong. You know what that means? You could go train with Goku and then go find you some of that fucking, what was it, demon fruit or something from that other goddamn anime that's still going with the pirates.
One Piece.
One Piece, that's the one. I don't watch One Piece. I'm sorry. It's too much. It's too fucking much.
The trolls love this about Chris. They love that this happened because it convinced Chris to get a piercing in his taint and parade it as his new clitoris.
Oh no.
Oh no.
His
Oh.
piercing was his new clit.
Yeah, it gets even worse because another troll upped the ante and was like, "You should just cut a slit in there. It'll be your new vagina."
No.
Bro.
And that happened.
There's muscles in there that you do not want to fuck with unless you just want to shit yourself for the rest of your life.
You said it happened.
Well,
and
funny you mentioned that because Chris has to wear adult diapers all the fucking time.
Oh, fuck, dude, that's... Oh my god.
Oh no.
Yeah, you did, babe. She walked in when I was
Fucking-
yelling about adult diapers.
Perfect. That's the best. Yeah, that's the best line.
This
to come
got
in on.
infected. Chris got sick. I had
Yeah.
to take care of it. Okay, so
What
I brought this up to you
dude.
guys.
Fuck.
I really feel I'm at this point. I know it's gonna get worse because I'm not
It
gonna
does get
feel bad for
worse.
him. But right now, I feel bad for him. I really
Well,
do feel bad for him.
So why is Chris in the news now?
Yeah, I know.
Chris
Why
is in the news
news?
now because more troll audio leaked of Chris admitting to having an Oedipus complex affair
That is
with
Oedipus.
his 80-year-old an Oedipus complex or Oedipus complex. I've heard multiple pronunciations. That is where a man wants to fornicate with their mother.
Yeehaw.
Some
Thank
Alabama
you,
shit right
thank
there.
you for that. It's for some Virginia shit going on
No joke.
with
holy
this
fuck.
case.
Some
So
hills has eyes, bro. Sorry, go ahead.
so Chris's mother Barbara is 80 years old right now, very clearly suffering from dementia. Which if anyone doesn't understand what dementia is basically the over time degradation of your brain. You lose your memories, you lose who you are,
Yeah,
and
it's
eventually
similar.
it kills you.
Every minute.
Yeah, it's similar to Alzheimer's. It's a degenerative, brain disorder where, parts of your brain just start to kind of eat away at itself.
Yep.
Money is a problem for the Chandler family. There are videos of Chris Chan using their mother to try and sell stuff. And also like talking very, very poorly to their mother. Not that she really deserves it. I have a lot of contempt for Chris's parents. So this woman is depending on Chris to take care of her. And it would seem that Chris is apparently sexually abusing her. She is presently in protective care right now. They are naturally performing rape kits. This alleged event first happened June 27th of this year. And there's lots of fucked up language used in this, by the way. He takes a comment that is like she has a really sensitive G spot. I guess prior boyfriends and husbands, remembering that that's his fucking father he's talking about, couldn't reach it. Stuff like that.
I feel sick to my stomach.
Sorry.
No.
I nearly threw up my mouth. What the fuck?
And part of the way he was describing how it first happened too, he was basically like, "Oh, I snuggled up with her and we started kind of going back and forth, but I let her make the first move. So that it was her idea." And the person he was talking to in the call was like, "Oh yeah, it was her idea, huh?" Like, whew, man, it gets real dark. He clearly doesn't understand. Like, he's trying to internally, his justification for it is like he needs it to follow a certain logical pattern, but he does not understand the full concept of what he's even
the
talking
scope.
about. Yeah.
Well, do you know people
Well,
that are in that,
it's
state of
too.
mind with degenerative disorders, like
Yeah, they don't know.
neurodegenerative disorders? They don't always know, like, the time and place that they're in, and sometimes in their mind they might be relating to either past memories or not even knowing who they're interacting with at that moment. That's
Yeah.
just really, really not okay
Uh,
to just assume because he allowed her to. Oh, this makes me so
What you're
uncomfortable.
getting at, Marshmallow, is that Barbara cannot give consent.
No, not at this
No.
She
point.
is
and real.
not in a state of mind where she can make that decision for herself.
She doesn't know who she's with or where she is at, at a given time. Maybe sometimes, depending on her level. But if she's heavily into into her disorder of dementia, the disease, then she's not able to really even know where she is and who she's dealing with. So for him to even say that she's giving consent at that point,
I'm not sure Chris understands what consent is.
Well, and I was just going to get to that he should have never been charged with the care of his mother because clearly he was never high functioning enough, whatever that means, and to take care of another person, much less himself. He cannot take care of himself. How is he going to take care of a dementia patient? This should have never been a situation that should have been able to happen, and the state should have intervened at this point. Fuck.
That brings me
I'm not
to
an
my next
authoritarian
failure
normally.
of Chris Chan. The state failed Chris Chan.
Oh, there's no money in it.
Of course there's no money in it. But the fact of the matter is that most people, CJs in my age, are very familiar with Chris. CJ's been filling in the blanks for me that I've been missing to give me a rest on my speech, as well as to fill in other things, because I have to dig deep for all this information, because
No
we're
kidding.
talking 30 plus hours of documented stuff on Chris Chan. Chris Chan is the most
30
documented
hours.
person in history.
Yeah.
Little Fire brought up Hitler. I don't even think that Hitler can carry a torch to this. This is the most documented person on the planet.
Well, imagine if Hitler existed when the internet existed the way it does now, though.
Yeah.
That would be very different.
Well, yeah, definitely a opportunity difference. But as far as pound for pound, just raw information, I would argue to say that we know more about Chris than we do literally fucking anybody, because of the time frame and because of his openness and willingness to record his own experience. And he just puts everything out there regardless of consequence because he has no shame. That
He
part of
lacks
his brain doesn't exist. Yeah.
He lacks the filter part.
Yeah.
A filter in like thought, action, and word. Like a overall filter is what Chris lacks.
Yeah.
Not to say
Well,
it's
'cause
really his fault, but it's
if
just
he
never
if
been
he truly is,
compensated for.
autistic, then yeah.
So CJ and I have alluded to a group of people that have tried to circle Chris to protect him because somewhere along the line, the internet grew a conscience. Not everybody, mind you, because the internet is full of a bunch of fuckbags. But
That's a light way to put it.
This
I
group
wanna fuck
is
bag.
referred to as the Guardians. And a lot of these people tried to protect Chris, say, you shouldn't be saying that. They tried to fill up Chris's time. They tried to to figure out other people, if they were good people to be around him or not, and really try to protect him. And some information came out. Apparently, during this time, Chris had a girlfriend. A genuine girlfriend. I can't comment whether she was drug-free or alcohol-free, whether she was fit and had a good income. I don't think Chris cares at 39.
He's starting to lower his expectations a little bit, which is good on him.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
But apparently what this Guardian member was trying to tell people before they washed their hands of Chris, and I'll tell you why after. This person tried to tell everybody, no, guys, you need to understand Chris is autistic. This is a lie that Chris told, because Chris is trying to protect what is in his mind, a bigger lie. Chris is aware that the trolling is off-putting to other people who get close to him. He is aware enough to see the effect that these trolls have on the people he cares about. And this woman is like in her mid-50s, allegedly. And Chris was telling this lie to protect the information that he has a girlfriend, to protect them from trolling.
So
we don't.
So hold on. We're saying that he probably told the thing about having sex with his mother as a lie to cover up the fact that he has a girlfriend?
I don't believe that.
Okay,
I
that's
believe
just speculation.
Chris did this.
Okay.
This was what a Guardian member was trying to say before more information came out.
Okay, I'm
But
just making sure. My dumbass has a trouble putting things together sometimes. I'm glad you clarified. Thank you.
No worries. And this has been a huge info dump the last, I've been talking about this for about an hour now.
Yeah.
This has been a huge info dump. So yeah, no worries. Any clarifications, I'll do my best. I'm not the most learned Christorian, though.
Yeah.
I'll just be honest.
No worries.
Anyways,
we definitely
don't believe this
expect
to be true. The reason why I don't believe this to be true is because I believe Chris did have a girlfriend at one point. A girlfriend who was autistic, and I believe her name is Bella. This name, I remember. She genuinely liked Chris for whoever the fuck he was. And Chris cheated on this love interest in a cyber relationship with Vanessa Hudgenson.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
Vanessa Hudgenson from High School Musical fame.
This sounds like a lie. This sounds like a joke.
No, well, I'm not joking. But this is a troll.
Yeah,
this
see,
troll
bro,
made Chris believe that they were the Vanessa Hudgenson.
Yeah, okay.
Ah,
Catfish.
man.
So the reason why I don't believe that this was a lie that Chris told is because of the fact that Chris is very forward with information, has no shame, has no filter. We've touched on this, and I have provided evidence purposefully over the course of this. And Chris has also shown the capacity to have affairs, because sex one time isn't enough. Sex from everywhere is always the goal. It always comes back to sex with Chris.
Man.
And on top of that, Chris also allegedly has admitted to this Guardian member that what he said about Barbara is true. So I'll just take it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. Wow, that fucking. Ooh, boy.
If found guilty, Chris will be sent to prison.
I hope he gets a mental institution, man. Fuck.
There's something to be said about people that have,
contributed
a sex addiction,
Used
or
and
I don't know if I would
abused.
even call it addiction. But sometimes, yeah, people are legitimately addicted to that, like, reward sort of dopamine, or what is it, that's whatever that's released in your brain.
Dopamine.
Anyway,
it's dopamine. It's dopamine.
Serotonin, dopamine. Yeah, either one of those.
I was looking for the word. Anyway.
You got it.
There's something to be said about that, but then there's also something to be said that you're willing to. I mean, your own mother, that's like struggling with, that's
there's a very grim
whole other
light.
level of disorder there. That's not just somebody who's really, really highly motivated by sex.
There's a very grim light at the end of this tunnel here. On Chris's arrest papers, it is Christine Weston Chandler, age 39, born February 24th, 1982, gender female.
So they
And
might-
guess what is not illegal in the state of
Mother-daughter.
Virginia? Mother-daughter incest.
Because there's no
Yeehaw!
birth potential.
Did this happen?
What?
This
Did this
happened in
happen?
Virginia.
No. I have to have this distinction. Sorry.
God.
I
Okay.
need to know, did they transition after the allegations?
No.
And the
No.
Well
This has
before.
been like 10 years of Christine Weston Chandler has been Christine Weston Chandler for like the last 10 years. This happened this year, June 27th, allegedly.
I don't know if that even makes it better. I mean, even my question doesn't.
It
really
On a
doesn't.
make
legal
difference.
standpoint, the fucked
a
up thing
legal
is this
standpoint,
could go
yeah.
to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Think of that.
And think how that's
Wait,
gonna
so
negatively
he's saying
impact. Sorry.
What's that? little
I
guy?
didn't realize there was a Supreme Court in the U.S.
Yeah. What?
No, I don't pay attention. Haven't you guys learned this?
Didn't know
Like,
there was a
it's
Supreme
a-
Court in the U.S. All right, bud.
Nah, just
It's a funny
Didn't
thought,
crack.
but the fact of the matter is that this is a huge potential, and Chris
Yeah.
could face no charges. And if Chris faces no charges, then what are the chances of Chris getting the actual mental help that he really fucking needs?
And what if they put them back in the situation of that he's in control, like he's responsible for anybody's welfare, much less his own or his
Well,
mother's?
I'm pretty sure the news is out that Barbara is going to be placed in elderly care.
Okay, at least there's that. Holy shit.
She's
Yeah,
really far
that's-
gone in her dementia.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, this is where we can get into a certain level of debate about, jail or rehabilitation and different levels of, different versions of punishment versus jail time. Because sometimes, throwing somebody in prison will only, make them a better deviant. And I mean, this is one of those strange cases where he struggles with, he
a lot of
he-
different things.
a lot of different, he's autistic as well. So putting him into a prison situation would not also be probably the best. And I think for a lot of people too, that's the same, like I said, same debate. A lot of the time, it's not always best to put people into a prison situation rather than sort of a more rehabilitation situation where they need to get the help that they haven't ever received.
Well, I don't
So-
know. Well, go ahead.
I told you guys in the pre-show when I said I was going to bring this up that I have the hot take.
Okay.
This
Hit
is
us
a
with it.
take that is pretty normal with people who are Christorians, though. This is the hot take with the YouTube environment, and I gotta say, I love my T channels. I love YouTube drama, but the T channels of YouTube do not have the right to be commenting anything on the situation. The news channels, Philip DeFranco, should not be talking about this. Maybe they should be talking about the case itself, but to have an opinion, no.
No.
Because I've never seen
Really?
an educated opinion from any of these T channels. This is just something that they've been looking up for 3 days. I sat here for an hour and a half, and I told you guys the history of this person. I have put in hours of understanding. I reserve the right to have an opinion that is taken seriously. I know that sounds really, really egotistical.
Yeah, I was like, hold on.
But
Let's
the fact of
justify
the
this
matter
here.
is my opinion is I gotta word this.
Well,
very
in order to
carefully.
formulate an
You're not
opinion,
in-
you need to know the material right?
And these T channels
you-
don't.
No,
These
they've
T
only done
channels are
a
attacking.
superficial level of research. Thus, they really shouldn't have an input on the matter until they understand the more of what's actually going on.
Ooh, man. Well,
So
they're allowed to have an opinion. What's interesting,
Yeah,
from
but
my perspective, they have such a large platform that it would be irresponsible for them to express an ignorant opinion. And I think
because
that's
their
where you're
opinion
trying
will
to come
shape the
from.
narrative.
Their opinion
That's where I'm
will shape.
coming from.
Okay, so I just want. It's not that they shouldn't have an opinion. It's that if they do have an opinion, it is incumbent upon them to inform themselves. Yeah. Okay.
Watch the docu-series that's on YouTube by Geno Samuels 2.1. And then we'll talk T channels.
Okay. Well, yeah. No. Very. I
Because at
just
least
want to be
they're
very
educated.
careful about like, you're not allowed an
Most
opinion. Fuck you. Like.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, thank you for clearing that up. I'm
You're
a little
welcome,
mentally
buddy.
exhausted from this.
I got you,
So
buddy.
let me tell you what these T channels are doing.
All right.
These T channels are just villainizing Chris. And I'm not saying heroize Chris. Chris isn't a good person. I'm not saying that.
And don't deify the guy
But
or
the
the gal.
problem is that they're saying there are no acceptable circumstances for this to happen. Chris is a evil person and needs to be put away. That's not the case. Chris is a product of what the failures of his parentage, of the school system, of
Mm.
the internet environment that he was exposed to, and of the state. Nobody helped this person who needed the help. Everybody just scooped him under the rug or put him on a pedestal of entertainment, of like an endless resource of entertainment. And this is what happens when we let that happen. Yes, it's rape. And I don't put Chris entirely at fault. This doesn't surprise me that this happened
It'd be like
because
holding an
nobody
8-year-old.
stepped in.
It'd be like holding an 8-year-old at fault, almost in my mind.
Exactly. Because that's what we have. We have someone who has the depth of a 7-year-old in the body of a 39-year-old who still believes in magic, who
Hey, man.
believes that the cartoon universe is one large conglomerate that adds on to itself whenever someone writes any form of cartoon, and that these worlds are going to merge, and that they are the harbinger of that.
Hey. Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? It's like,
Yeah, what
DMCA.
Chris has done is one of the most disgusting and reprehensible actions.
one can
But
possibly
this was
do.
preventable. This has been preventable his entire life. And no one did anything. In fact, people just perpetuated it through trolling him, hanging. I'm not saying anybody owes him sex when I say this, but flaunting the promise of sexuality in front of him with no intentions on taking part, knowing full well that he's mentally challenged,
and that he'll probably never get what he seeks,
What he
in
desires.
the way that he wants it.
Yeah, no, honestly, I see where you're coming from here, Pancake, where he, I think he just somewhat lives in a delusion that has never been challenged properly throughout his life. And when it has been like pushed in an improper way, especially when you say like the trolling and people, yeah, he's never had the proper guidance. I think that's, yeah, guidance.
And I want, like, do we know too much more about the circle of people who were attempting to guide him?
Let me do some research.
Okay, because I
I am
heard
an
there was some
ancient
corruption.
Christorian.
Yeah, not a neo-Christorian. Yeah, I got you.
No.
Fucking weird. This is a weird place to use that kind of
It,
terminology.
it's yeah.
Are
Yeah,
you
it's so
BC
easy.
or AD? Before
Like,
Chris
what?
or
The
Oh,
years
God.
1993 to 2011 are my area of expertise.
yeah, you've got a very specific frame in your Christorian expertise. I get it. I get it. It's like
Just
how
under
people
20
pick.
years.
It's like how people pick the years between 1400 and 1500. Yeah, okay, I get you. I get you.
Honestly, actually, I just looked up Christian Guardians on Google, which is like the most direct source, and it's just littered with Yahoo and
Oh no.
New York Daily, all these news channels, and then Chris's Twitter.
Oh no. All right. Well, Chris has a
Yeah, I
Twitter,
mean,
eh?
at the end of the day, like, I don't want
Yeah,
anyone
eh?
to think that I agree that he had done any of the things that he has done. Like, that's obviously fucking horrific. But I think that this poor person has honestly also been, like you said, probably. Mm,
You can't have me surrounded by Canadians all day and not expect me to pick up
what?
a
Drop
little
off
bit of the.
none
Drop
of
off the
what?
little old A.
Yeah.
I
Drop
just
a
had
little
to bug you
A
on
from
that.
time to time. Like, it's gotta happen.
Well, it's when he goes, "A bud," and
Hey,
that's when I'm
bud.
like, you've been spending too much time with Canadian.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
good
that
bud.
was a great joke that I cracked.
That was good. Yeah, no. Sorry, I didn't mean to detract. We're back to serious time. Sorry.
No, it doesn't
No, you guys
matter.
deserve a laugh.
Yeah,
Throw it
we've
all
been
to
on
the
too much
side.
serious for too long. Yeah.
It can't. It
Fucking hell.
can't. Oh god. I thought you were gonna say fucking A.
Hey, fucking A.
Fucking A, bud.
Fucking A, bud.
Fucking A, eh?
Yeah,
Fucking A.
Oh, man.
Fuck.
What were we talking about?
I'm really
I
sorry we got so off topic.
Oh, sorry, bud.
Sorry,
What
eh?
were we talking
Sorry.
about?
Yeah, sorry. Oh my god.
So yeah,
No,
I
I mean it's not like it's not diminishing the fact that it's a horrific thing that he did or they did, but yeah, it's obviously just a bit of a tortured soul as well.
Yeah, it's weird because you want to be sympathetic, but you also cannot allow people to cross certain boundaries just
Boundaries.
because they have A, B, C, or X, Y, and Z,
Yep.
wrong with them. And if they're not capable of, controlling themselves, well, then it should be the responsibility of the community to take that mantle up and to guide this person and take care of them, because yikes, holy shit, let's not have this happen again. I almost said A, and fuck, holy shit, it's becoming a cancer.
A bud.
Hey, bud,
Yeah.
yeah.
one of us.
One of us.
Fuck, yeah.
One of
You
us.
guys gonna
eh?
sponsor
One
my move
of
up
us,
there?
eh?
Yeah, one A.
One of us.
Fuck. But yeah. Well, and I think this sparks a couple of interesting questions that are gonna have to be answered in our society about mental health and fuck. Here in the United States, you up there in Canada, you guys got shit figured out for whatever reason. Here in the U.S., which is where Chris lives, in Virginia,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Yeah, healthcare is just not a given. And not only is it not a given, it's incredibly prohibitively expensive, even for those who can afford it. And it should be a matter of national security, in my opinion. It's to the point now where you could have maybe argued that, oh well, the free market, X, Y, and Z. Listen, that's good and well for things that are consumer products, right? The supply and demand, I get it. Cool. economics. I love economics. Cool. Healthcare is not. It's an inevitability. It's not something that's just not going to happen to you. You're going to need it, and there is zero reason to not nationalize it. And for something like this to be able to be possible, just because of the fact that like it's very likely that they didn't get that there are people across the nation that aren't getting the help that they need, and that there's going to be dozens of situations that crop up just like this where it totally could have been avoided if healthcare was just readily available in the United States nationwide. Sorry, little rant
Not
there.
just healthcare, though. To be honest, like I'm not satisfied with the healthcare in Canada now.
Oh.
Like, yeah, I guess I don't get like a bunch of bills in the mail every time I have surgery.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's really
That's-
sweet. Okay, I'm gonna own that one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
So
why does
what's
it
your
stop
problem
there?
with our system here?
Yeah.
That it stops there.
Okay.
You should be able to see a dentist,
Oh,
get your vision taken care of.
Yeah.
It should be
Precisely.
all encompassing.
Well, yeah. When I say healthcare,
And people should be willing to
Yeah.
pay the taxes for it too, because I paid the taxes if it meant I got to go get my eyes fixed or at least get glasses.
Yeah. It
Whenever you
genuinely
needed
has
to.
be
Yeah,
all
no, that
encompassing.
would be nice for me as well. I need glasses, but I haven't been able to pay for them for 5 years, man.
Yeah, depending on your benefits here, and your job benefit. Yeah, you
Yeah, I
can't.
just lost my benefits.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well.
So if you don't have benefits for a certain thing like dental, vision,
Yeah, dental, psychiatric, vision should all be included. Why would you think your bones, your teeth bones, were different than the rest of your healthcare? I don't please, that's literally such a
yeah.
scam. It's such a capitalistic scam that I cannot believe that it's allowed. Like what? Like, why does that make sense to anybody?
It's such an obvious scam,
Yeah.
but people don't see it
And here's the
because
thing.
it's like, yeah, it's always been like this, whatever.
Long term, if you just support that, Lo-Fi, you're echoing just a smidge. If
Oh,
you
sorry about
support
that.
your population long term with that kind of healthcare security net, you literally can almost just not have certain other security nets because they'll be capable of falling back on that in an emergency situation. You know, where it's like if if a healthy worker can work harder, like that seems pretty fucking obvious to me, right? Does it seem pretty straightforward to you?
Yeah.
And if
A
you
well-fed worker can work harder.
and as a corporation, if I were able to offload the cost of healthcare to the government, why would I not lobby for that? Why would I not want healthier workers with a government that took care of their health needs? That seems fucking brain dead to me. But here we are, the pharmaceutical companies, since they're so invested in making that profit from what they see, they don't even know that if they were to get the government to nationalize healthcare, that they'd get even more fucking guaranteed money because they wouldn't be so reliant upon people having to have jobs. You know, they wouldn't need the depleting workforce to continue to work harder and harder to compensate for their fucking consumeristic tendencies.
Well, the pharmaceutical companies are corporations, just like how a lot of even, other healthcare systems in the States have become like corporations, and then even just like your prison systems have become corporations instead of just
privatized prisons. Yeah.
yeah, everything has become so privatized. It's all
And
so
now there's
corporative.
slavery.
So like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really the best way to go about it in terms of, I don't think, I mean, maybe in terms of taking some of the capitalist, like the money from the pharmaceutical companies, but I don't think trusting them to be able to take care of, like the socialist sort of like healthcare system. No.
I'm not even.
No.
I'm not, because here's the thing, it's not even about socialism. It would be the bottom line for them. That's what I'm trying to point out, is that they would make more consistent money if they were getting it subsidized by the government. It's the same thing fucking oil has, or sugar. Sugar, I think, might be one of the worst offenders, where it doesn't really even matter how much any of us consume. there will almost always be an enormous amount made, so much more that none of us could ever consume it all. And it's
Yeah.
all on our fucking taxpayers' back, dude. The whole goddamn thing. And they're making a fucking as much money as they could ever make because they don't have to worry about supply and demand. They get to just fucking make it ad nauseum and they get their losses covered. Like, why would you not want that as a pharmaceutical company, as a healthcare system? Like, nationalize that shit, please. Fuck. And dental, and
It
mental
makes so
health,
much
and vision.
sense to do so.
It
can
really
become
does.
It can become so corrupt, I think, because especially if you have, certain pharmaceutical companies that are already sort of corrupt in their foundation already, and they're already just like really just their hope is to make money.
Well,
And they end up making,
then I've got
but
a
then they,
corrupt system on the left, and I got a corrupt system on the right. Which one is going to
but then
benefit me more? Is really
no,
the
but
question at the end.
no, but think about it this way: the one that's making a lot of money, even though they're corrupt, they gave you a whole shitload of money, and that's when they turn around and say that no, you need to say this instead of that.
What? Well, how is
They-
that not already the status quo?
I mean, that's what I mean. That's where it gets really corrupt, right? Where like even though you're wanting to make something that's good by working with these companies,
Hell, it's
if
not
they
even good. I'm literally like being corrupt right now. That's basically what I'm. It's that I'm trying to point out that there
you're being
are
corrupt to be good at the same time.
Yeah, no,
though?
it's really the weirdest workaround, but it's kind of like I know you and I've had some kind of like more like different conversations where I've been kind of like
Yeah.
sometimes in order to reason out these quote unquote good things, you kind of have to think like a psychopath and come up with
Yeah.
the how do I benefit from this mentality, because it's the only way to speak to corporations. It really fucking is. Yeah, maybe I'm fucked. I don't know. We'll leave it
I
to
mean,
you in the chat to decide.
I thought I thought your motivation at the beginning was to have more of a like accessible
No, I'm entrenching the hegemony.
on the the
Yeah,
opposite.
because here's the thing. You have to. That's the only way we're going to get this done in the United States, is if you think along the
Is
lines
it?
of how to benefit those already in power. There's literally no other way to accomplish it, because every other way is going to be blocked by that exact power
What you
structure.
gotta to like literally stroke all their
Yeah,
egos.
yeah, you've got to give them the fucking buck at the end of the day and say, hey, here you go, pass it. You know what I mean? Like, and you make the profit. Like, that's literally the only way to fucking tease it out of them. Well, that, and you've got to talk to the conservatives of the nation, and basically that's why I approach it with the national defense argument, because it fucking is. Imagine, okay, and here's a hypothetical. Imagine
Mhm.
if China did attack us with a biological weapon. And well, how are we going to handle that as a nation if our healthcare is all privatized?
Mhm.
Well, and then we saw the response now with COVID, where all of a sudden, well, we have to make this vaccine free. Well, let's just do that with healthcare, like fucking literally all the time, because health is a national issue. It really
Yeah,
fucking is.
if you don't have, if everybody's sick, you have nobody to fight a war.
Mm-hmm.
You could look at it like that too.
Exactly. Well, and you're just gonna let your workforce be murdered by a fucking plague because you think that the private healthcare system is just gonna magically be all of a sudden be altruistic and help those people who can't necessarily afford it. And you think
Yeah,
as a
then
fucking
there's
jackass
that.
up at the top, you think,
Oh.
well, oh well, what if there's someone who's, not capable of working, and we shouldn't give them any resources? Well, no, giving that person resources to allow them to sustain frees up other people's hands to perform their tasks. So even when you're helping someone who quote unquote doesn't contribute, you are still helping contribute to the system as a whole. Seriously, every argument
This is
I've
what I
ever
was
heard
talking
against
about
it is so
before.
short-sighted. Yeah.
This is
CJ?
what I was talking about before, and then you were just saying that you wanted to go more nihilistic about it.
Well, no,
And I was
like
no.
I'm validating it for all the right reasons at the moment, but there has to be that underlying motive for the profit margin on their part. Like that's literally got to be it.
What if I
Yeah,
told
they all
you
want profit.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Pancake has something that I feel like that tone makes me want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
What's
All
that?
right,
Thing?
well, put your conspiracy caps on.
Ooh-wee.
Are you buckled in?
Yeah, buddy, let's go.
I'm buckled in.
What if I
Alright, give me a
told
second.
you
Click.
the government wants you to die?
Oh, yeah, no, that's actually true.
Yeah,
Fuck.
no, yeah,
The
that's
moment
100%.
you outlive your usefulness via retirement, via any sort of major illness, because that's poor genetics, they want you to succumb to it and die.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't
Yeah, no,
That's
that's
just
why
my
they've lowered
opinion.
that's why they've lowered the retirement amount that you get in Canada.
And increase the age, by the way. Squeeze
Yeah.
a few more years, maybe you'll die, and we don't have to pay you out.
Yeah,
What's
I
the
guess
age?
not wrong.
What's the age now?
I believe it's going to 68.
Holy shit.
What?
Yo.
Oh my
That is
god.
so high. I think ours was at 1.62, and then it went to 65, and then it was like, yeah, like, I don't know, whoa, 68, fucking hell.
Last I knew it was 65.
I'm not too
Yeah.
against it, to be honest, though.
I think a retirement age is a weird
Mind
concept.
you,
Well,
mind
Yeah.
you, most
healthcare
people at that
is-
age just have a job anyway. Like even if it's part-time because they don't like sitting still.
Well, the moment you sit still at that age is the moment you die.
die.
True.
True.
Well, and here I am. I'm kind of weird. Man, if you, Kevorkian might have had a point. Like, let people fucking kill themselves if they want to. Kind of, you know what I mean? Like, holy shit. I don't know. It's a weird state to exist in because I want freedom for people to make their own decisions, and I also want the state to be able to help facilitate people on their way out as well. But I don't think it should be the government's incentive to kill us. It's weird that that is the status quo now, like you said, but holy fuck.
Ooh, that brings me to kind of an interesting topic that
Oh?
maybe we could talk about is assisted suicide.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's a
All
deep
right.
one. It's a dark one.
Yeah, let's get into
We
it.
went dark anyways.
Yeah, I
Let's
was gonna
go.
say, yeah, this whole episode has just been nothing but trauma for anybody listening.
What do you guys think about that? Like in terms of
100% for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's go.
there should probably be an age limit, but other than that, yeah, no,
Yeah.
people should have their right
Yeah,
to
from this
to
point
suicide.
on, like, get parental.
Oh my God,
consent.
no, I don't even care if you've got parental consent. Yeah, I don't care if the little fuck dies. Fuck him. Like, oh shit, okay. Nah, that is. Bro, could you imagine you're 16 and you get liberated from your family just so you can go fucking kill yourself officially? Oh no. There's gotta be some point, because here's the thing, like as a species, going through that time period there's a lot of emotions and things that go through you. And
okay,
that's rough.
This is where, because I brought up the topic, I have to be the one to sort of
Guide
a
us.
little bit.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
for it in a medical sense, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, because we're literally talking about a medical sense. Because
Yeah.
I don't what I would only agree with myself is, really, really thorough assessments before ever thinking that would be something that is liable.
Oh, so no
or-
recreational suicides?
I don't think that, like a
Suicide
16-year-old
booth.
kid that thinks that life is tough and that the world is shit should be able to go to their doctor
Planet's
and
heating
say
up.
that no, that's not what I'm talking about. I think where this became something that I actually really thought about was when I was studying in school, in psychology, there was a woman who was struggling with a muscular dystrophy where her body was slowly failing her. And she
Okay.
realized that she was going to get to a point where she was no longer going to be able to take care of herself, which she got to the point through the process. But she had lived her life happily and didn't want to get to the point where she watched herself deteriorate.
Hmm.
She wanted to peacefully go out, kind of like how we euthanize dogs, how we think that it's humane. We say it's humane to euthanize an animal because we're going to save them the pain,
Pain, the suffering, yeah.
the suffering. But so she was saying essentially the same thing, where she didn't want her family even to see her go through the point where she could barely swallow
Yeah.
or have to be, all the things where it's just like it's yeah, all of a sudden I'm like, well, maybe that's the thing. It's not a teenager that's like, oh, life's tough. It's a person that's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to
I
like see myself go through that.
we've
And then
got
I'm or like a cancer patient that wants to say maybe I don't
That's
want to go
fair.
through.
we've got
Yeah.
somebody in the chat who wants an explanation of muscular dystrophy, please.
Oh, okay. So muscular dystrophy is
It's
where
terrible,
a
first of all.
deterioration of your muscles
Yeah.
over time, and that includes your heart, your lungs, all of your interior muscles with your organs, everything, to the point where you can't walk
Yeah.
and breathe and eat or speak properly.
Pretty
Including
sure
your
Stephen
heart.
Hawking's had that.
To your heart, yeah, your heart, and you eventually die from it.
Oh
So
yeah.
you slowly deteriorate. It's a slow deterioration
Yeah.
of your muscles
Something to
everywhere.
do with how like the protein replication isn't like your body just stops building muscle at all.
Yeah, yeah.
It only breaks down, which
It's
is
awful.
yeah.
It's awful. Yeah. MS is what people mostly call it. MS,
Multiple sclerosis. I can't fucking talk.
Yeah,
muscular.
you got it correct.
Yeah,
though.
Matt, yeah, no, I agree. I'd rather die as well. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
Even if it's
so-
like, even if I gotta take care of that shit myself.
yeah. If you were, for me, if I was turned into a vegetable some way somehow, I literally, actually, I made a pact with my brother. Just shoot me. Yeah, I don't want to
I don't
live
think
like
that's
that
how it
That's
works.
at
gonna be
all.
hard to do
But-
in the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, do what you gotta do. Just end me. Like, I'm not dealing with that. That's my view on that.
I used
Well-
to not care about the idea of assisted suicide with sick people and stuff like that, because I always felt like there's a chance that well, sometimes people get better. Miracles do kind of happen. But then I watched lung cancer kill my grandmother. And I don't know if anyone's ever watched that happen to somebody that you care about, but you're literally watching somebody slowly deteriorate in front of you.
Slowly
It's
suffering.
I've
like-
been watching my grandmother do that for quite a while now.
Yeah, and it's when they're bedridden and they can't breathe, and blood clots have formed and their feet have exploded, and when they're sleeping you can hear them whimpering and wheezing.
Yeah.
You just kind of think about putting a pillow over their face.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And it's funny because I had that conversation with my mother, and we had the very eerie realization that her and I were sitting 3 feet apart thinking about
Fucking.
smothering grandma.
Fuck.
Yeah, no,
So-
it gets super dark, dude. Super
Since
dark.
then, I've definitely believed in at least medically assisted suicide, and thankfully, that is now a reality where I live.
Yeah.
Is it actually?
It is, yeah.
Wow.
There is
Yeah.
somebody in the
think-
music scene here who had some sort of infection that just shut everything down,
Mhm.
and she she couldn't move, couldn't do anything, and she opted in on that. And she wrote like a goodbye post on Facebook. Nobody had known anything had happened, and
And she was able to.
she was able to, and the next day it was done.
Perfect. Well,
Fuck. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm-
dark
I think
shit,
here in the
man.
States, you've got to
Matt,
move
Matt,
to
you
like
got to
Oregon?
understand. I had watched this go on for over a month because I visited her every day, every single day. I popped into the hospice and put on the Princess Bride and just enjoyed whatever time I had left.
Fuck.
After a while, you can't really stand the suffering any longer.
Yeah, shit. You ever have like
I'm not
sympathetic
proud of it.
pains? I don't even like. I know you're not literally going through pain, but I like feel like a weird ick in my body right now just from this whole thing. It's not fun. It's definitely not
This whole
something you ever
podcast's
want to
been dark,
have to.
Matt.
It's not something you ever want to have to consider. But holy shit, it should be your right. It should just be your right as a human being to go out on your own
Yeah.
terms.
mhm.
Especially if you're going to go out
Right,
regardless.
as long as if you're in your right mind to make a decision.
That's
Yeah,
just it.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be a
You're,
consent
like,
thing.
Where I was saying before, there are a lot of things that you have to,
Factors.
yeah, a lot of like, you have to have a certain number of doctors and a certain number of things that you have to actually go through before you're even considered. It's not something that, I don't know, it's a strange thing that your own life, it's illegal essentially for you to take your own life.
Your government
Look, it's like-
property.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
You have a number.
Yeah.
you
Literally. It literally.
So I mean, it makes a lot of sense for you to go through a process in order to make sure that you're at least sound in your mind with that decision. But at the same time, it's also a really bizarre thing if you think about it and you break away all of the logistics of it. If you break away all of law and culture and everything, we're just meat and bones. We're just people. And it's weird that we all have certain opinions about all of it.
Yeah. It's a very interesting social construct we've all created for ourselves.
Yeah, we really have.
Thank you, capitalism.
Yeah. Go forth and maximize profits.
The prophet has spoken. That's every
Execute the
corporation mantra right
plans.
there.
Oh man.
For us to
Oh,
have
well,
gotten
where do we go
from-
from here?
Yeah, no,
From-
that's it's a
Straight
tough,
to hell.
yeah,
Oh,
it's a
no.
tough topic to follow up on. Yeah. So the weather here, 18 degrees C and clear. No.
Wow, he's getting very Canadian, guys.
Actually, you know what?
I'm pretty sure he said Celsius right there.
Yeah, I did.
It is. And you know what? It is actually 18 degrees Celsius and mostly clear here.
Ah, too bad.
It's 30 during the day here. Ugh.
Yeah, we live on opposite sides of the continent, though.
That
It's
is very
interesting.
true.
For us to have gotten to that point just because of that lovely man or person. I
Chris
should
Chan?
say.
Individual.
Individual person, yeah.
Lol cow.
Lol,
because
oh
they're
my god.
Like they're transgendered at this point, so.
Well, and we.
I don't subscribe to that.
That's a very interesting question about that. Oh gosh, guys, this is gonna get even worse.
It's
All
gonna
right,
have to
so
lead to another podcast
Let's
or
do it.
No.
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna do it.
We're going into it.
Yeah. All right.
Alright,
So
here we go.
how far do we have to go to participate in Chris Chan's reality, no matter what he dictates it to be?
I don't understand your question.
All right. So if Chris Chan says he is a thing, one way or the other, knowing
Oh.
how Chris is, To what degree do we all participate in that?
I say, just my opinion. Okay, this is just an opinion I have. Due to how deep the delusions are, none of it.
Uh,
Hmm.
This person has no grasp.
so there is an acceptable level of delusion to participate in, I suppose. Well, and as humans, I mean, money is a delusion, right? An
Well,
illusion,
let's
even.
remember what the motivation to be a woman is
It's not.
part is bringing that multi-dimensional cartoon world merger.
So then it's motivation that dictates whether or not we participate.
You know what? That I would say that's fair.
Okay, how do we determine
Because
somebody's
motivation
motivation?
is the same for like any other like a well, I touched on earlier with having transgender friends, and I had asked, okay, well,
Yeah.
like how, why, because it never occurred to me in the past,
etc.
right?
Yeah.
And I want to know, and they always said I've always been like this. Now I'm just going to live it,
Yeah.
where
So
Chris, that's a genuine, I feel like I am a woman. I always have been. Versus I need this so my cartoon dimension exists.
but
And maybe lesbians will be more interested in me.
how do we legally distinguish those two individuals from one another?
I think we're gonna
How do
find out.
you judge motivation outside of what a person dictates?
Well, it's really important
It's
with this.
it's nice
The
with
state is gonna
Chris
have to figure it
because we
out.
have he's way too honest. He probably says things he shouldn't, so he's like, yeah, nah, I'm being X so that I can get to Y. Well, I'm not every individual who has that motivation is gonna state it clearly.
That and it's not even that they really can sometimes.
And maybe not, yeah. I just don't know. It's a very interesting line to try to walk along. I'm
To
trying to
pursue.
yeah, I'm trying to obviously I don't like I'm on the side of trying to understand individuals from their perspective and all that. But it's difficult to distinguish this type of stuff legally in my opinion just because we're starting to get to that point where, well, let's talk about trans athletes here recently. There was one that
Oh,
participated in the Olympics,
Olympics.
right? How do you
Yeah, I
guys
know
feel about
exactly who
that?
you're talking about. I don't in the women's Olympics, to be specific.
Specifically, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
They didn't win, by the way.
I no, they didn't. They didn't get any medal.
Mm-mm.
In fact, she missed some of the deadlifts, right? But the one of the arguments you could make is she has reaped the rewards of testosterone for
Mm-hmm.
or a high amount of testosterone
For a
for
long period,
30
years.
years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And throughout that entire time, it was what the Olympic standard for females for the max amount of testosterone one can have is 280 uh, milliliters per deciliter, I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Also, like
and
men naturally have like thicker bone
like
density.
3 times or
Broader
4
base.
times more.
Different bone
Like,
structure.
Broader shoulders,
bone structure
yeah.
is
more
a huge
muscles
thing.
So
in there
then,
throughout.
so here's my issue. So if like we're talking about this, so does becoming trans, do you forfeit your right to participate in certain realms of the gender that you've now like come into? So there's kind of an inherent
I
consistent
think,
like
yeah,
bias. Well, and is that bias reasonable?
I think this is a really good conversation to actually have and it's a tricky one. I don't know
Mm.
really if I have an opinion, honestly, because
I
there
definitely
there
do, and
clear
it's just
there clearly is there clearly is
it's
a
okay.
difference in terms of like bone structure, muscle density, and especially if you're talking about somebody depending on their level of transition and like when you're
Mm.
talking about, like there's a lot of gray area with this and whatever, but at the same time, I really believe in inclusivity
Mm.
and allowing people to compete when they feel the most confident. And so if they
Mm.
are a man and wants to be a woman, or vice versa, that's the thing. It's a tricky one, and it is a conversation needed to be had because, again,
Yeah.
like you said,
Is it
especially somebody
fair?
that's most is it yeah yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
just say add genders. Honestly, why can't we just have men to
I,
female winged
yeah,
competition and female to
well,
male
and
how
winged
small of a
competition?
participation ring would that fucking be, though? Because of the
It would
it's
be
small
legal.
still
percentage, hold on, because of the small percentage of people who are trans, even the smaller percentage of those people are going to be weightlifters or bodybuilders. So you're not going to have any population to sustain a separate new, like, fucking,
Olympic
not
genre.
ring,
Every
genre. Yeah, I can't think of the word, but you guys get what I'm saying.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
section.
Honestly, that's what I thought of in the first place, but it's a little bit impractical, like
Mm-hmm.
you were saying.
Right now it is.
Yeah.
It'll get to a certain point in the future that people will just have enough and want it separate.
Well, maybe there should just be a men's Olympics, a women's Olympics, and then a unisex Olympics, where it doesn't
Yeah,
matter what gender you are or what you
yeah, but then that
identify
would be
as, men up
entirely
against
male
women.
dominated.
Look,
Well, the thing
there'd be
is,
a couple of men
oh,
that said there were women in there. I,
Yeah,
It's
I
not like it
mean,
hasn't happened before.
and a couple of, I'm just, and even if they
you
do it
know,
in the spirit of that it should be, or if they do it nefariously in order to gain whatever notoriety or advantage, really, it's kind of irrelevant. It's yeah, it's such a tough question to answer.
it really is, and I don't think that I don't think it's a harm for the Olympics to get a little bit gay and a little bit gender bended, in terms of that. But at the same time, in terms of fairness, I don't
Well,
know.
and the Olympics
yeah,
is corrupt
that's a
as
debate
is.
for everybody to have, not a select few.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah, but it's worth expressing each of our ideas and opinions on it now because it's
Yeah,
it is a discussion to be had. Even if none of us are trans or are transitioning, it's still, we all should have an opinion, and it should move towards the greatest amount of humanitarianism and egalitarianism, in my opinion, that we can possibly have. Because I
Well,
yeah, believe it
I
or
mean,
not,
there's
I fucking care about people, and I want things to be as fair as possible. Not in outcome, but in um what
at
you're
base.
what
I
you're
mean,
granted access to.
Mm.
at the end of the day, too, it comes down to a conversation that's been had many times in human history, where, does segregation actually equal, a better, equal existence, or does it just create more segregation?
Yeah, I think that's reaching into some of the critical race theory that's been going around here in the U.S. as well, where it seems to me, and granted, I am no critical race theorist, but I have been trying to inform myself on the subject, especially its origins here in the past couple of months. Especially because I have a child who might be going into kindergarten soon. But anyway, point is, um, it seems to me like the intention behind a lot of it isn't to create equity or equality, but to divide people along racial lines into oppressors and oppressed, And so if you have a particular
Mhm.
skin color, then you are oppressor or you are oppressed. And that's just fucking racism. Like
Yeah,
straight up.
hardcore.
Like
If we were to
what else is it?
create, yeah, if we were to create a version of, sort of where most people will go to like a regular Olympics, male version Olympics,
Mm-hmm.
we were
Or
to create a
even female.
separate.
Well, and let's look at this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If we were to create just a separate version of the Olympics where it was sort of like non-gendered, everyone sort of accepted, there would definitely be a backlash, almost just like how people look at
Mm.
the Special Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Special Olympics should be something that's celebrated, but there are obviously assholes that look at it as, sort of like a secondary, and they make fun of it.
Mm.
Cartman.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Did you say Cartman
I did.
from South Park?
Get some South Park in there.
Let me tell you about the Special Olympics. Yeah, fucking.
Oh
See,
my
this is
god.
where like I don't know if it should even need to be a separate thing. That's where, yeah, this is a strange conversation. If it needs to even, oh,
Yeah.
God.
Happened,
Well,
man.
I don't think we're gonna reach any conclusions that will be of national
No,
consequence here
not
tonight.
for this one. Anyways,
No, but I
not for
never
this.
thought about it. I never actually thought about it until.
Yeah, it's tough.
You mean politicians
It's-
don't
it's,
listen to our podcast?
We're not important.
What? We're not Joe Rogan.
You mean I'm not important?
Damn it.
Yeah, we need to start saying random famous podcasters' names so that we'll get algorithm traction.
Approved.
Yeah.
Just tweet them and ask them if they want to be on the
Well,
podcast.
Yeah, oh my god, that's great. So we've already talked about a couple of hot topics right now. We've already mentioned, transgenders and Chris
Oh
Chan,
God.
and then we
Oh,
talked
God.
about some others. So we've hit a couple of them already for sure. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we weren't sensitive this episode at all.
And not even a little bit. Holy shit. All right. Well, is there a next topic for us all? We've got about 40 minutes left to fill up. Anything got something? Anybody got something? Anything got something? Yeah. Any of y'all entities out there? Fuck.
You guys got any topics for us to discuss?
Yeah,
or
you
you'd like
want
to
any
hear our
hot
opinions
takes from me?
on?
Yeah, Pancake. You got something for us?
No, I was asking the chat.
Oh, chat. We
Yeah,
got
that's
a
what I
happy
was asking.
birthday,
I've
Grizzly.
given you my hot takes today.
Is that your dog's name, Grizzly?
By the way, who is Matt Flows?
He's my League of Legends buddy. He also has a
Oh.
Twitch stream that you guys should follow.
Hell yeah, I'll do that. Give me a minute.
Get a quick anonymous league
Get a little
Twitch
plug.
plug.
Yeah, get a little plug there. Anonymous. I mean, you can.
Yeah, but we don't. What's his Twitch?
Matt Flows with two Z's.
With two Z's.
Ah, see, there
Two
you go.
Z's
Now
and
it's
two
not
T's.
anonymous. To me, anyways. I see that as anonymous. I have a weird way of thinking.
Double T double Z. Or Z if you're European.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Or Canadian. I'm just lazy.
Canadian. Yeah.
Zed doesn't
Do you
rhyme with
guys
T, but
put-
Ted does.
Do you put a little strike through on your Z?
No.
No.
No, I do.
What? No.
I'm a weirdo.
It's strange. It's so strange to when I see that somebody put a Z through there or a strike through their Z.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Just right through the middle, like just boop, little. Yeah, I also on my
when I
sevens.
see people do that with sevens.
Yes,
it's
I was
so
just
weird.
gonna say I do that with my sevens as well. You know why? Because there are 7 points on a 7, and so
Yeah.
Well,
making those marks is correct. The other way is the lazy, incorrect way.
oh, so if you do a really lazy 7, it can look like a 1. So if you do a
Yes.
strike through the center, then it looks like a 7.
You also have to put the little fucking like front windshield on the motherfucker too, where you like, you know what I mean? Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down?
I was just
Yeah,
counting that in my head.
Yeah. Because otherwise, yeah, no, it doesn't work out. But yeah, fucking no.
Yeah, the way I write my 5s, I make them look like 3s.
Ooh, that's
It's
not
strange.
good. Mine sometimes look like S's, but then I try to like make the top of the 5 flatter, and nah. One time, okay, so this is fucking weird. I have a couple of 5s in my social, but I'm not gonna tell you the whole number, obviously. But I was going through getting some shots, some vaccinations before I was deploying to Iraq. And I put my social down, and the nurse like picked it up, and she started scribbling on it. I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Well, your 5s look like S's." I was like, "How many letters do you have in your social security number?" And she just fucking, she just dropped her pen, like put her pen down and walked away. I was like, "Yeah, all right."
There you go.
Fucking what? Like,
that's good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, how many letters do you have? Like, damn.
I'm sorry. Like, what? I fucking can't sometimes.
Yeah, no. For some reason, when I was born, my mother put my last name as her last name, right? Obviously, I'm not going to tell you it because no one shall track me down, right? So
Aw,
I'm
why?
gonna
I
track you
got
down.
it. My grandmother changed it to her last name, which is my dad's last name, when she adopted me and my brother. But when I do government stuff, I get it as my original last name. I can't handwrite my other last name.
Oh no.
I just can't.
That's pretty convoluted. I'm sorry to hear that, bud.
It's so
Fuck.
bad.
Do you mean like cursive when you say handwriting?
Yeah.
I can't cursive.
Oh my god.
I can only cursive my first and last name, like the newer last name. But that's it. I can't read cursive unless it's my first and last. I used to be able to, but I just can't.
When I
But
was
you
Because
know
we got taught how to do that while I was in school. I just
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
never stuck.
and you just
Oh.
never used it again because it's
Yep.
useless.
It is
I-
unfortunately so
Mhm.
useless.
I know it's useless. I understand it's useless. But at the same time, now I can read doctors' handwriting for the most part.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
what you
can
think.
And I can also write, like, oh my god, have you ever seen shorthand? That's a whole
Yes.
other thing. Yeah.
That's
so
why I left the medical profession. No thanks. I'm not here to fucking interpret some hieroglyphics from some other random motherfucker. Like, no thanks,
and
bud.
you're expected to understand, yeah.
Yeah. That and fucking acronyms. Holy shit, there's so many goddamned acronyms everywhere. Anyway, sorry, that was more of a
I'm just
military
as
issue
guilty.
than a... Oh yeah?
I'm so lazy. If I can find an acronym for anything, I'll use it. If it doesn't
Uh,
exist,
yeah.
I will make it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's human nature to make acronyms, let's be honest.
I mean, sometimes it
are
works
lazy.
though.
Yeah, no, it,
Like
it totally
scuba is an
can work.
acronym.
Really?
Yeah, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Yeah, so like scuba gear, like that totally makes sense. I get that. And when you're talking in the medical field to each other, it's so easy to use acronyms, almost to the point where it's a different language. It's not even just not even just acronyms, it's just shorthand, like Schmello was
Oh,
saying.
that's what shorthand is. Okay, I was gonna ask that and I got disconnected somehow. Not sure how.
Oh,
I
That is
doxed you.
super weird.
yeah, you've been
Shorthand?
a denial of service attack.
Yeah, shorthand is a way of writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like internet language where we take words and truncate them.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's I do that to myself when I think I do shorthand.
Oh, I don't think in shorthand.
It propels my thought so fast.
Okay. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, no, it's kind of fucked. Not gonna lie.
I just use Brainzyme to accelerate my thinking. I wish we were sponsored. That'd be amazing.
That was
I
quite
would
the segue.
love to be
Yeah.
sponsored
And this
by
is where we
Anthropic
go
company.
into Brainzyme. So
Yeah.
you know when you're
Today's message is brought to you by... Yeah. Fuck, dude. Oh,
Yeah, no, that
man.
was a good segue.
I wish.
Jesus.
Yeah, here, Brainzyme, hit us up, bro. We're totally in on it. Or whatever, new topics in general. Fucking come our way. We will
Come at
chill
me now.
your shit. We got a whole crowd of 10 people willing to listen. Sorry. I fucking can't. Oh man,
Oh,
shit.
shit.
I love all you listeners out there. By the way, you're the reason we do this. Obviously, fuck. Just scream into the
not
void out
any
here.
Do it,
not
so you can
any
listen to the
other
sound of
reason
my
at
voice.
all. No.
Yeah. Now we have no monetary, financial incentives yet for any of that.
Yeah, yeah. We just do it because we just want to, right? We do it for the people,
Yeah.
the sheeple.
We do it
As
for
a
the sheep.
podcast,
We've got a message
can
to
we-
spread.
Can we get to affiliate status as a podcast?
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
presume as long as we fulfill all the criteria, we should be fine. It's not gonna be easy.
No, we need to do stream on
Streaming.
days other than Wednesday.
Well, and just more consistently as well, because one day out
It's a
of the week.
little bit inconsistent for sure.
Well, and occasionally we do miss a day or two, but it's there's always behind the scenes stuff that ends up happening. But
Usually.
Yeah, like Weezer's not here because his power went out like
Yeah.
10
Like-
minutes before the podcast.
yeah. What I say though, he didn't join in, so we were both kind of right.
Yeah. I guess so.
I'll take that as a draw.
I didn't know we were in a competition. We didn't set the parameters for our bet.
Yeah, so do we got anything else to talk about? Anything from the crowd or
No, I think we've pretty much covered it all for that. Well, yeah, so today we managed to cover a couple of different topics, ranging from some pretty dark stuff to even worse stuff. So
Oh,
I'm not going to go through
Yeah.
each individual
Dark to
topic
even
again.
worse.
Yeah.
this was an overall dark episode?
Yeah.
We managed. We
Bit of a
started
rabbit
off
hole.
light. We started off light with the new scientific shit, but
Yeah.
maybe
Maybe one day we'll answer some of the questions that we proposed there in this podcast today, but we didn't answer any of them tonight. That's for damn sure.
none. Well, we usually do too. That's
Oh no, they're so complicated that it's beyond us as just a handful
Yeah.
of individuals, realistically.
Generally uneducated in those fields, anyways.
Yeah, well, very autodidactic. Most of us here in this podcast. So there's and I'd like to say to anybody here, self-education can be just as valid as traditional education, and in some cases
free.
more so. However, that doesn't mean that fucking because a flat earther went out there and educated themselves that they're fucking smarter than you or smarter than me. It just means they taught themselves. So yeah, be careful about what kind of information you consume and how seriously you take it. Consider your sources and always trust but verify, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah, trust but verify.
And
All right.
That's a good motto.
second guess. But
All right, wow.
Hashtag free Chris Chan.
Oh my god. That's been Anthropic Topic. I've been Capitalist Jesus.
I've been Little Fire.
I've been Pancake.
and I've been Armin Marshmallow.
And y'all have a